Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Bull Market Watch, broadcasting at a little bit different time of the day than normal, and I'm going to start seeing if this time frame in the morning works better for my personal schedule, and people who can join me live, that would be great. The rest can watch the replay. It's still the same thing. So this is the Bull Market Watch, and we're going through the markets on Poloniex, and we'll see today that not all is bleak. While the overall sentiment for Bitcoin is certainly bearish from now, and looking forward it may be going down to the $2,500 mark, not all the cryptocurrencies are bearish. As you may know, we've been doing this report on the Bull Market Watch since early September, going through all of the markets on Poloniex day by day, and marking out which ones match up to the simple trading plan. You can get a free copy of the simple trading plan by going to IntroToCryptos.ca, and you can get a free chapter from my book of the same name, and it'll explain the core fundamentals that we are going over here using the Bull Market Watch. And so you can see here that in early September I started to mark on this chart when we saw a buy signal according to the simple trading plan, where we're looking for a break of a downtrend line, the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, and the exponential moving averages to cross over, looking on the 12-hour bars of the chart. And we tracked that day by day to see which ones were an alert that looked like they were about to create a buy signal. They turned into a buy signal and then turned into a cold fish, I call it, which means that the moving averages crossed back over the other way. So as the months went along here and time went along, we could see that this chart was tracking the overall sentiment, the number of markets that were either alerts or actual buy signals, the number of markets that were looking like they were going to make new lows. And in about the middle of October, it was looking great. And as we know, everything sort of tanked after that. And a lot more markets were hitting new lows, and a lot more markets were getting out of their alerts and out of the buy signals, and they were turning into the cold fish or near fails or complete fails. And we started doing this thing November the 14th, what I call Bitcoin Hell Day, when we broke that descending wedge triangle and started to slump lower. We had another hell day and another hell day after that. In fact, it came down to that most of the alts were making new lows. And so I started looking through the chart patterns to see if we could find short-term trades in the smaller bottom formations. And we continued to do the live reviews all the way along. As you can see here, we started to put in some target entry prices. And this has evolved now into a full alert service that you can go to IntroToCryptos.ca, as you see above the screen here, /alerts. And you can get these alerts instead of watching the whole video. You can get these alerts now in an email and in a members area in the website. They cover all of potentially they cover all of Poloniex and all of the markets on Binance as well. So there's more than 200 markets that you can get daily updates on, where the target entry prices are, where the target profit targets are, and where the stop losses should be to start off with. So we can see here that in the market of Ardor, I put up a signal here, a buy alert at this price. Prices have broken above the buy alert, and our initial stop loss is still in place here. Prices are looking not too bad. And so what I'm doing in this video now is going through, and in this spreadsheet, I'm marking off a color-coded notification thing here so that we can track which markets are a buy signal and how long they remained a buy signal and what happened to them afterwards. Inside the alerts package, you'll get more detail where we have the entry price at the bottom of the green square, the profit target at the top of the green square, the stop loss as we first starting out, and then as the trade moves along, I'll update to where the stop loss should be according to technical patterns. And we also get a risk to reward ratio number where we can see the amount of money we're risking if we enter at this point, and the potential profit if we hit our profit target. So that gives us a risk to reward ratio that you can quickly scan through and find ones that provide the best potential. So generally, the altcoins follow Bitcoin right now, and that's not always the case. Sometimes the alts are going opposite to Bitcoin. But for now, as Bitcoin's going down, so are the alts all following it. So not only are they losing money in US dollar value, but they're losing money against Bitcoin. So they're actually dropping faster than Bitcoin. And I do think that when we do find the bottom and things start to turn around, that the alts will go rise faster than Bitcoin. That means that their US dollar value will grow up faster than Bitcoin because they will be growing against the price of Bitcoin. As their Satoshi value goes up, that means they're going to be growing faster in US dollar value. So what I'm going to do in the rest of this video is continue on the sequence of monitoring each of the different markets and writing down our color-coded sequence to say, is it an alert, which is yellow? Is it a fail, which is red? Is it a near fail, which is orange? Or as we go along, is it a cold fish? Does it turn blue and say that the buy signal has failed and we have to use our risk control rules to get out? Great to see a few people watching. No notifications. Yeah, I didn't send out a notification. I just got myself ready here, and started to broadcast. So it's probably going to reach a different segment of people around the world who are awake at this time of the day. Most people in North America are not up at 4 o'clock in the morning to get prepared for this. And they're getting ready for work and they've got to go on their day. So this is probably going to be hitting more people in Europe and in Africa, maybe Australia as well. And then through the day, everybody else can watch it if they want. And if you don't want to spend an hour going through and watching this video, then you can go to IntroToCryptos.ca/alerts, sign up for the program there, and you'll get fast, boiled down notifications of only what's active and none of the markets that are neutral or failing, or you don't get those. And it just saves a bunch of time. Since I'm putting the time in, I can process it and send it to you and save you that time. Continuing on now, we'll go through BAT, BNT, and I still have not updated this to the new BCH. Let's do that. Add one row. And I will clear that. And I'll just completely clear this row as well, reset, and we'll start off as BCH, ABC, and BCH SV. Let's get rid of that color. Probably got a link in there. Okay. All right. Hello from Germany. Hello, Klaus. Good to have you here. You have a question about the add-on position. It's still possible it could fade off, even though it's an add-on position? You bet there's possibility. We always have to assume that we are wrong. I'm happy to do them, Klaus. Always the rule is to assume that you are wrong unless the market proves you're right, because it invariably will make a fool of you if you actually think that you are right. The markets are fickle and there's high risk, so we want to always assume that we are wrong whenever we put on a position, reduce or remove that position unless the market proves us correct. And we'll go on to more of these in the add-on positions as we go. So basic attention token was an add-on potential. Let's go see how that went. So initially we had a buy signal. Let's grab this arrow. We had a buy signal right here. We had the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation in the middle of October. It was looking great, and indeed prices, the moving averages crossed over and up it went. And according to our trading plan with the 12-hour bars, there was no exit signal until these moving averages crossed over. And at the time I recall saying, well, you know, I'm going to kind of override this crossover exit signal because of the chart formation, which sometimes goes against my better judgment, and I end up losing what I shouldn't have lost by not following that strictly. And so we could have followed that strictly and then used this as the get back in position. But what I did instead is I said that this was the add-on spot right in here as prices were breaking out. And so what we're looking for is to find the big long trend. I'm assuming that when the alts do go, it's going to be a 12 to an 18 month bull trend. So we're going to have prices going up and fading back and going up and fading back. And the idea is to have a small position that you hold for the long term so that you're following that whole trend rather than putting on a big position and it goes against you and you lose a good amount of your equity. Better to have a bunch of small positions and then add on to that small position later so that you are bigger when you are correct and you're smaller if you were proven wrong, or not proven wrong, but you were not proven right. So there's an important distinction there. You don't want to be proven wrong. You want to get out if you're not proven correct. And that takes a little bit of study and thinking to realize how important that is. And so we did an add-on here. And if I zoom in to this, it's still above our add-on position. And so it would be safe to continue holding it. You may want to have the stop loss just above your add-on position now, since it's gone a little bit favorable and you want to protect that money. And some people who are more risk tolerant would leave their stop loss down a bit more to leave the market room to move around. So it depends on your risk tolerance level, but generally I'm assuming that we are still not in a full bull market. And so the more careful you are, the better. And at least you keep your money to make a decision another time. You know, run away and live to fight another day. So this one would be a tight stop on this one now, especially as it's coming back. We'd have to see how it's going. In addition, we're watching some indicators down here to see if we can find some divergences. So as we see these three flat bottoms, we did see that there was a divergence in the RSI. And at the time, we were seeing that the on-balance volume was turning positive here as well. So we could see a little bit more negative, and then it turned back to positive, and it's fading off a bit more. So this is some of the things we try to put together, as well as looking for the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation and the moving average crossover. So the simple trading plan, we have the add-on here. We still have a profitable position, and it's high enough above our profits that we'll still come out in the green if this does come back and kick us out of that add-on position. So for now, this basic attention token add-on position is still there. I'm just going to leave it marked as it was. Let's pull this back because we can see all the way along here how far back it was when we got in at 28.79. Now the next market is BNT, and we marked that as an alert. It's a little bit out of order here. Zoom into the 1 month view. We marked it as an alert, but it still hasn't come up and done anything, so it will remain marked as an alert. It was the 000175 was the target area. 000175 almost touched us in, but hasn't yet. So it remains marked as an alert. Then we got, I'll take a look at them, ABC and SV. Nothing going on here. So as a bull, that we just look, keep looking, and even nothing going on here. This isn't a trading plan. The simple trading plan can take an action on, because we're looking for the break of a downtrend, 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, and the moving average crossover. But this market is so young that it doesn't have enough history in the chart to find a long-term bottom formation. And now that it's risen up this far and making this consolidation pattern, it doesn't fit into the simple trading plan monitoring. So I'll just leave them as neutral. Actually, ABC is a fail. I would mark ABC as a fail because it's come down to pretty much new lows. It's spiked down before, but it's fading off, so I'm going to mark that as a fail, which takes no action. There's nothing to do if the market is a fail. BCN might actually do something. It doesn't look like it here. 3 month view. Okay, it's not looking like anything going on, but they do have some. I was looking at what's cryptocurrency calendar Pro or something like that, and there's something coming up with this project that may trigger a pump in it. But aside from that, the chart's not telling us anything. BTC, of course, is looking like a sell. We'll quickly go over to Bitfinex, look at Bitcoin USD, and it's giving us a divergence in the RSI, and the on-balance volume is getting weaker. So there was great selling volume here, and then less selling volume here. So that could turn around, could indicate a turnaround, but for the simple trading plan, we didn't have a buy signal in this at all. And the trading plan is biased for looking for a bottom formation and a buy signal. So we weren't looking for a sell signal in this. We were just looking, should we buy? And then we never got a buy signal all the way along as we were following this. We didn't have our 3 criteria line up. So at least it kept us out of buying into this market before the big 3 waves down here. And there's still no turnaround signal on this. It'll take quite a while for this to go sideways before the moving averages cross over. And so there's no action to be taken on this with this trading plan. It's really a biased plan looking for the bottom formations. And for the most part, the cryptocurrencies, you can only buy low and sell high. Most of them you cannot do short trades on. So nothing there, and we do have a mark here at 55 exit. If the prices were to be breaking out of this little wee bottom formation that we see, zoom into the 3-month view, 1-month view, 1 week view, and pull back a bit. This is a potential 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. We've got 1, 2, and a little bit higher lows here. And so if prices do break higher out of this and cross above the 44.60, 44.80 level, then that would be a buy signal in the short term. And what I was calling for was prices to come up to 53 to 5,500, and then we would have a mega dump down to the 2,500 level. So I'm still watching for that. It could drop off from here, but I am thinking that, yeah, it's a descending wedge triangle here again too. So it's not looking bullish, and I can't stretch it into a bullish look at all yet until we get those prices coming up and retesting some of these levels and actually breaking above it. So the simple trading plan also tries to keep us out of the higher risk moves and the fake out breakouts and stuff by having those 3 criteria, try to filter all those things out. And we do not buy at the lowest low, and we do not sell at the highest high. We wait until the trend has actually turned around, and then we get on to the train. So the next market is BTS. So BTS had a buy signal, and it hit our imaginary stop loss in this in the trading signals. So this was actually before the trading signals were starting, and it came up, we got hit by this fake out breakout and pulled back down. So this is one of the dangers of switching away from the simple trading plan, which is using the 12-hour bars, because when you do zoom into the, we've got some liquidated shorts coming through here. That's interesting to see. Bitcoin must be giving us a bit of a surge right now. And we can see along the side here, just beside the tip jar, is Bitcoin wisdom pulled in there so that we can be watching Bitcoin prices on a shorter term while we're going through the rest of the markets. And I'd also like to say a thank you to IntroToCryptos for putting in a $10 tip the other day, and he took over the spot of the boss for the stream with that tip. So thank you very much for that, IntroToCryptos. I appreciate it. And so looking back at BitShares, we can see that we zoomed in and used a shorter term trading signal, and it is a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, but we got caught with a little candle, and then prices came back so that they're not proving us correct. And this happens a lot as we're going through this zoom in to the markets. If I pull this back a little bit, so here on November 21st and 22nd, we stopped looking at it with the 12-hour bars and started zooming in, looking at the 4-hour bars and even the 1-hour bars. And you can see here with all of these reds that we had some buy signals that turned into fails. Another buy, an alert that right away hit us and turned us into a fail. So BitShares was an alert turned into a fail. So there's nothing going on there. We've already taken that fail. And it's another one of the reasons why normally I trade on a 12-hour plan. Good to have you here, Julius. I appreciate having you guys watching. I didn't expect there'd be a great turnout first thing in the morning, but yes, it was great, Con. I didn't miss when people were tipping me. You get that notification on the screen and it loud signal in my ear. It always startles me. It's fantastic. I appreciate it a great deal. And Ermin, great to have you here as well. Imran, sorry. Very good to have you guys along. I appreciate it. And for everybody else who's watching right now, say hello in the chat. Let me know where in the world you're from. I see Klaus is from Germany. Oh, Boris, I see you're here. It's Bulgaria, 1:45 p.m. in Bulgaria. Good time of the day. So, BitShares giving a little tick up there as we speak. I'm still very bullish on this overall in the long term. Lithuania, love it. I love I do plan a tour through Europe, and I'll come and visit all your countries. I can't wait. Taste all the different foods from different places in the world. Makes a trip memorable. So there we go with BitShares. Nothing else to do now. It would turn back into an alert if it was starting to pump up out of this and come near this old entry point. I would still keep this as valid. Even if prices continue to go down from here, this would be an important spot to be watching as prices do come back up. So, a new alert there. Burst, we had an entry at 123 and an add-on really quickly at 130. And the more quickly you do the add-ons, the higher your risk you're taking to have your small profits taken away and turned into a loss. Fortunately for this one, it turned out well, where we had the buy signal, and then as it came back to the number 2 point, right, we said the 1, 2, 3 bottom, it burst through that past the number 2 point. As it came back and retested that, I'm certain that that's about where 130 is where we added on. So as it showed strength out of that, then we added on. And it's turned out well. Now what I've done is I've moved the stop loss up above and given it a little bit of room to do some wiggling. And so this one remains as dark green as an add-on buy signal. And so not all is lost. Not all is bleak in the cryptocurrency scape. You know, it's a bull market watch and Bitcoin's looking terrible, but not all of the alts are. There are some opportunities to make some profit. And so watching them all is really key so that you get those profits when the opportunities are coming up. So Clamcoin also was a trade signal that we got a while ago. It blasted right off like crazy, did like 100% in that one day. And then it's pulled back, and then I moved the stop loss up below that, and just going to be sitting and watching on this one now. And didn't plan an add-on for this, even though it's in the profit and it's moving up. Probably should be looking for an add-on now that it's showing more strength. And again, you would, if you were going to plan to add on to this trade because it is showing more strength, then you would put on your position and you would immediately plan to take that off unless it proved you correct. So you really want to try to find the exact right timing. And for my own part, what I'm looking to see is an internal 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. So if we get a big 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, prices come up and they pull back, then they make an internal 1, 2, 3 bottom formation and start to show strength, then we go off from there. And Alimran is from Georgia. Awesome. Great to have you guys here. I appreciate the audience. It keeps me focused on studying this stuff carefully, and it's better for my own trading when I study it carefully. So that's why I didn't do an add-on here. It's not giving me that internal 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, and I want to be a little bit more careful on the add-ons. So I'll just leave this marked as a green and go on to Civic Coin. Let's drag this over so I can see the coin more easily that I'm working with. Civic Coin. So Civic touched us in on this hypothetical trade, and then it's pulled back a little bit, but didn't break the stop loss level that we had set. So we're sitting in there waiting it out. So there's conflicting strategies here, because rule number 1 says assume you are wrong, reduce or remove your position unless the market proves you correct. So here the market did not prove us correct right away, but it didn't hit our emergency stop loss. So if we sit here and wait for it, and then it comes down and hits our emergency stop loss, then we've sat here and waited and let the market prove us wrong. And so there's two philosophies here. Some people say leave your stop loss below the number 3 point and give the market room to do its thing. Keep your position size small enough so that if it goes down and hits that number 3 point, it's not that big of a loss compared to your overall portfolio. And then the other philosophy is to be more manual with your exits in the trades, where you would be watching this trade for the first couple hours, and if it doesn't prove you correct right away, or if it starts to come back, then you get out and re-wait for another chance to enter this trade, even if it's at the very same level, but you would wait, and so that you're going to get into a trade that never looks back. It crosses that line and it keeps going. And you don't want to be one that's going sideways, because then you're sitting there waiting and watching, and your money is tied up where other markets could be moving and you're missing out on it. So this is again, this is sort of the two philosophies I like to go over and study and share, because then you can make the choice fluidly as to which ones is best for you on each trade. So for the simple trading plan, I'm going to leave this one. It's marked here as an alert. What day was that? That was December 5th. So that would have touched us in. I'll have to put that as a buy, and we'll take the loss if it goes down, because this is hypothetical. Dash was not an alert or anything. Decreed was not an alert or anything. They were neutral. Good thing too, because that wasn't any good at all. It's looking like it's going to fail and go down to new lows. And I was reading somewhere just recently that the G20 summit, they had an agreement that they're going to enact worldwide cryptocurrency laws and rules for all of the exchanges to follow, which is supposed to prevent money laundering and the likes, so that the cryptocurrencies cannot be used to easily fund nefarious projects and illegal projects. And for my own part, I think that the privacy coins are going to be regulated, and they are going to be dropped in price big time, but I may be wrong. We'll watch to see what happens with Dash and the rest of the privacy coins. Decreed. Alright, so this one got listed on Binance and really pumped for a bit, and then it faded off and crashed down here on the, started going on Bitcoin Hell Day and continued. Now it's showing a little bit of stability here. If I zoom into the 15-minute bars, we can actually see a flat line, a little higher lows here. Very short term, easy to get jumping into fake out breakouts. So if we step back to the simple trading plan, we have some time to wait for this bottom formation to shape up, like we are seeing from August to September to October before we finally had a buy signal. There was a long time of consolidating before it went. So we'll just wait on this one as well and wait for that tide to change, and then we can make a decision. Digibyte gave us a buy signal, then it came back. So this is another one that was a fake out breakout. We were too close to the market, but it still turned right back into an alert. And here again, after that alert, it came back up. Not sure where the first one was. November 29th, and now here between the 5th, the 1st and the 5th. No, that was the November 29th. No, okay, we've already got out of this one, and we're it's back to being an alert. Although there is a stop loss here that the price seems to have come down and touched as well. So getting out of this one immediately and taking that loss, as we marked here on the 29th and said no, we got out on the 30th and we were watching it again, but it hasn't given us anything. So I can't even make it an alert right now. Maybe in a day or two, if it's coming back up and pressing against these prices, maybe. And that I would even move this up now and drop this off. And this would still be our stop loss on the next move if it were to go somewhere. So I'll update that for our review next time. So it's not even an alert now. I'll leave it as just marked as neutral. Dogecoin was a buy signal a bit ago, and it was a nice buy signal too. It was a nice buy signal even on this. Well, you can see on this time frame it's not yet a buy signal. With the break of the downtrend line, the 1, 2, 3 bottom and the moving average haven't crossed over yet. But if I zoom in to a shorter time frame, then we can see the 1, 2, 3 bottom, the moving average crossover. And what I was watching for this one was the break of this downtrend line, this a parallel channel line. And we could see the prices came down. We had the RSI divergence. At the same time, we had that little bottom formation. We saw a change to a positive on balance volume. And then the prices came out of the trend channel, and that turned it into the buy signal there. And it's been profitable and moving along, and I think it's going to be doing some pretty fancy dancing over the next while. It's looking good. We've got some nice steady on balance volume. And it's a coin that over the years has done some big moves, and usually sharp and fast, and then fades back. Sharp and fast and fades back. Sharp and fast and fades back. Now we're building up again, and we have 3 higher lows all the way along this long term. It seems to me that this is gaining some traction and will go higher. I like it. So where would the add-on signal be for this if this is the case that it's going to be going up? 3-month view. It could be just above the 59 or 60 Satoshi level that it would qualify for an add-on. But for now, it just maintains its buy status. EOS and Ethereum Classic were making new lows, and so they were out of contention. Yeah, nothing going on here. And Ethereum Classic, same thing, new fails, nothing going on there. Then on to Ethereum, we're looking for the buy here, and mostly because it's been holding its own all the way along since these old lows here back in September. But when I zoom in, I see that it's come down to where our projected stop loss would have been, and so I'm going to have to pull this up and out of there and give it more room, so we're not going to get touched in by a quick little spike, but I'm going to step back on this one a ways and wait for a change in momentum rather than what might be a little spike and then a pullback. So nothing going on with our Ethereum. Factum has done crazy. We had our buy signal way back here, and it's because of the moving averages and the 12-hour bars haven't crossed over, we haven't got a sell signal in it yet. I did move up a protective stop underneath this, and nothing to do but sit and wait for this one to see what it's going to do over the long term. We still have great strong on balance volume. Zoom into the 1 week view. Still strong buying volume going in there. 3-day view, we can see strong buying. No divergence in the RSI, maybe a little bit here. If we're trying to identify a top formation, the on-balance volume is weakening, the RSI is weakening a bit. We'll have to see how this turns out. But for the simple trading plan, we're looking at the 12-hour bars, and our moving averages are far enough apart that this market could come down and go sideways for a while before we actually get an exit signal. So this one remains as a buy. It never did come back and give a suitable 1, 2, 3 bottom formation for an add-on, which is interesting to note. Game Credits gave us a buy signal, and it's been a fail for most of this study, but indeed it gave us a buy signal out of this very tiny 1, 2, 3 bottom. So it may be, you know, it could have a long ways to go up, but that was a very small bottom formation to be trading. And again, because I'm sort of skittish on most of the cryptos, might be a good idea to have the stop loss moved up close. Might be better to have it let back a bit and give the market room to move. That's a subjective one, but it still remains as a buy signal so far. And next we have gas and then GNT. And I know that gas is doing nothing for us yet. We're still waiting for that to make a decision. GNT, however, did make a decision for us. It did move through and nicely, and then it's pulled back. So when I zoom in on this, it seems to me that it's going to be going up higher from here. This does seem to be like it's a, where's my parallel channel tool? A bit of a bull flag. So a pullback like this after a strong move could indicate that it's going to be doing another step up in a strong move. And we're seeing that we've got lower lows still, but it could be a bottom, 1, 2, a little bit back a bit, 3, and then a break above these levels would be an add-on position. You could get in again. Interesting to note that we have the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation breakout, and prices often come back and retest that number 2 spot. So one strategy is to buy in on the breakout, and if prices continue to go on and on and on, you've done well. Another strategy is ignore the breakouts because everybody else is buying in on these things and the FOMO is getting everybody. Wait until the prices are coming back and people are doing profit taking, and then they're getting scared and they're selling. Prices come back to these levels that used to be resistance, but now they act as support. When they come back and they're resting on that support and showing strength, that would be the time to buy. And this is probably something that the Ichimoku cloud would show us better, that prices are coming back to, if this burst through the cloud, this would be coming back and resting on the top of the cloud, and when they started to move up off that, that would be your actual buy signal. So again, this kind of filter would keep you out of these pump and dumps, keep you out of that FOMO strategy, and be more patient. Could you resize the spreadsheet so we can see the tickers? It's hard to, because then let's see what happens here. Does that work? It stretches over the chart just a bit, but that's fine. Yeah. So GNT is a buy signal, and we're sticking in that one. And I like to review those 2 different ways of handling the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. You know, the simple trading plan, sticking to the 12-hour bars, helps filter out a lot of the fake out breakouts. And if you wait till the pullback, sometimes you miss a move that's taking off and just keeps going. But if you wait for the pullback, lots of times that happens over and over again. Hunter Coin, then KNC. Hunter Coin's not looking good. Fail, fail, fail. What was the... Good, we didn't have a signal in that. It was an alert, but then it turned into a neutral. Good morning, Professor Wally. I think I may be doing morning broadcasts more often so that I am not missing my evening yoga classes. When I do the 5 p.m. broadcast, I miss the 4:30 yoga class and the 6 o'clock yoga class, and those are often the best ones, the flow classes where the instructor gets to be creative. So last night I went to a flow class that concentrated on crow pose and sideways crow pose, which are difficult to do for this stiff old body. KNC. So this one gave us a buy signal. and then it pulled back and almost hit our stop loss, our emergency stop loss. Then it surged up and it's pulled back again. So here's another one that we had the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. It broke above that, retested it, and it's come back to retest it again. And it may be prudent to stay out of these markets until it's done this retest and starting to move higher off of this support now. So at any rate, let's see where we actually into this trade. Yeah, we did have that buy signal. So we'll leave it in there because it hasn't hit our stop loss. But again, I'll remind you that there's two different ways to approach that stop loss. Library credits. They're still an active program. I keep getting email from them, and I like the look of this chart actually. Look at these green candles now. There's some buying going on. The nature of the trading on this market has changed. We're getting these pre-pump candles. This could be doing something. And I'll put a, let me zoom back a bit. 3-month view. Not bad actually. The moving averages are coming up close to be touching. And so what I'm going to do to be a little bit conservative and give it some room, hopefully we don't get hit by a pre-pump candle, I'm going to put this box in. And what this box represents at the bottom line is the entry price. The top line is the initial take profit price. And then I put the emergency stop loss in below these levels. And later I'll put this into the spreadsheet for the alerts so that the people who are subscribed to that service will get the entry point, the potential exit point, and the stop loss. And then the spreadsheet calculates, so it gives us the risk to reward ratio. We will see what percentage of your money you're risking, what percentage you might gain. And just as we try to scale into a position, you may want to scale out of a position as well. So don't take all of your profits, but leave a portion of your position there for the potential for much greater profits by holding on to it longer. If it comes up to this and you don't want to take profits because you see that the whole bull market is taking off everywhere, then you might want to wait for this to retest and use this as an add-on level. Another consideration is that some of these markets take off and they pump so hard that they go to unexpected extremes, really unexpectable extremes. And some people call this a pump and dump. I call it a popcorn move because it moves like popcorn, popping up and then right back down. And so to get ready for those popcorn moves, what I do is say I put on $100 worth of a trade here. I'll put $60 worth of my stop loss in below, and I'll put $10, $20, $30, $40 of the trade up into these extreme levels and put the sell orders in the books and just leave it there. So I may wake up one morning and say, wow, I made this profit off of this trade. And often I have some of the money up at 10 times the price. And so if prices go from 600 Satoshi to 6,000, just that $10 will pay for my whole $100 position, and everything else is just profit. I can take that money and reinvest it if it does come back down, or invest it into something else that's making a potential formation. So we'll leave this one now as an alert in the spreadsheet. So this spreadsheet just shows basic color coding to let us know where it is. And in this video, you get the long explanation about each market. With the alerts, you would just get that as a part of an email. Okay, so Loom is sort of near history prices. Do you examine popcorn ones with the same criteria as these? The popcorn moves generally happen at the very first stages of the bull market. Just as everybody's getting excited, then the FOMO gets everybody and they start buying it when they shouldn't be, and it drives the prices up to extreme levels, and then it falls back down. So I am looking for, anyway, Loom is not going to give us anything right now. So I am looking for the same type of entry. I'll look for the 12-hour bar, 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, a break of the downtrend line, and then when the prices cross over the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation and the moving averages cross, that's my buy signal. And so then I would, after I've bought, then I would set up my stop loss and my profit things way up above, just in case it does that popcorn move. And it's sort of like an insurance policy, basically. And I do this with all the cryptos. No matter which one I'm holding, I'll have either a mental stop loss to say I'm just going to get out if it doesn't prove me right, or the emergency stop loss actually in the market as an order. And then I have the rest of the money layered out way up above the market, just under technical support and resistance levels. So I don't want to wait for it to fight this level. I want to be just below it. And maybe this level here you can see in the history is important, and I'll put an order just below it. And then this top right here, I'd put just below it, zoom back a little bit, and just below this level, and maybe even just below this level here. So give it the possibility of going unexpected levels. We've seen this happen so many times, it's important to get prepared for it. So that's how I layer out the popcorn orders strategy. And I just do it for all of them, just because it's the beginning of the bull market coming up, hopefully. Good morning, Don. Good to have you here. How's weather in Alberta? We can see up in the top corner here now, it's -9 where I am at 6:25 in the morning. Bitcoin prices are sitting at $3,900 and Ethereum's at $108 US. All right, so no signal here, but an alert. Litecoin was a buy signal earlier, but what's going on with it now? So we had our buy signal, prices came up, I've moved the stop loss above the entry point, and it's just about touched that protective stop. So it's still a hold, still green, and I like the on-balance volume change here where it's been some pretty serious buying. But overall, that's still a downtrend. It's still not looking happy. We've got, if I do this parallel channel, we're coming up to the top of the down channel. So it's not a good thing. So we've already locked in some profits here, and that's not bad. Consider it lucky for the position we got into there. -9 and light snow. Yeah, same temperatures here. MadeSafe coin. We can see here this parallel channel was broken. They made a top formation with a diverging RSI. We saw the on-balance volume failing, and then poof, it fell out of that channel and has pulled back pretty good. Now it's down to these historical support and resistance levels. If you had bought in here, this might be the time to be adding on, even though we see that moving average crossover hit right there. Let's zoom in a bit on this. So here's the baby 1, 2, 3 bottom, and showing some strength. So this could be a position to add on if you had been in there earlier. I like it. May even be a position to take on getting into this market if you hadn't earlier, but it's not matching what the simple trading plan says, because we had to wait for this bottom formation and the moving average crossover to get our buy signal, and we would have this would have taken us all the way back to our entry point, maybe even threatened to just a little bit below it. So that's a tough one to trade, except that I am doing more of these parallel channels, top formation, RSI divergence, get out, take some profit. Maybe not get out of the whole position, take some of the profit and reevaluate. So what would it be now? Would it be officially with these moving averages crossing over, zoom, 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 that is a get out point. So when did we get into this? A long time ago, November the 9th. So yeah, exactly. November the 9th, we're right back to our entry position. So if we had moved our stop loss up above, we might have been protected. And another one, 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, came back and retested it and went up. So moving that stop loss up above your entry position when you can is really important so that you don't get stopped out again at a small loss instead of keeping some of that profit. I will mark that as a fail, that we got kicked out there. I guess I have to mark it as a blue cold fish. Wrong color. And I do go through later, and I guess it's not in this spreadsheet, but I do the calculations to say, would this have been more profitable to play on 4-hour bars or the 12-hour bars? In addition, we look at the possibility of getting out when the 4-hour moving averages crosses over. So we get in here, then we would have had to get out here, and then the moving averages crossed. They just touched and kept going. Touched, touched, touched. So that using the 4-hour bars gets you in and out so often, it's much more difficult. Next we have Mana. Mana is for Decentraland. We bought in here, prices came up, moved the stop loss up again after the prices were coming up, and then I moved the stop loss up to here. So I'm going to take this out as an exit in the profitable trade. I'll say exit, and the price of it right now, 16.27. So we got in at 13.78, we got out at 16.27 with our protective stop loss. Need to make a new color. And it may be wrong, it may have been the stop was moved up too close under the price, but we'll have to see. Mana price due to a Binance competition, and people can buy Mana land plots with BNB. Oh wow, that's pretty smart of Binance. I knew that they were having that land sale, the second land sale inside the Decentraland, and I think that real estate is going to be worth quite a bit. People will be creative in there and make ways that inside Decentraland you'll come to their piece of land or whatever to buy things for use inside the game, inside the environment. And there's ways that people will be making money from those who are playing inside Decentraland, and you'll be able to cash that money out into the real world. Unlike games like World of Warcraft and many games, they just have currency inside the game that is not legally transferable out of the game. So Mana is probably going to go up stages higher, and the stop loss was too close. What's next? Navcoin, Namecoin. Nav is an alert. It's coming up and building a nice pattern here. I like this ascending wedge triangle, even though it's on such a small scale. We've seen the pre-pump patterns before. We've seen the big move. It's consolidated and came back with all of this pressure in the cryptos because of Bitcoin's failing, sliding back rather. And now this looks like it's getting ready. So I'll put this back as an alert. And I'm certain that it is on the alerts package for what's going on in Binance. Sometimes a fundamental analysis stop is worth considering, yeah, because the competition goes till the 11th. Namecoin, though I was not so excited about Namecoin, the chart gave us a buy signal out of this formation here. So we can see that it's kicked us in, we're in a buy. And if I zoom in to the 1 week view, it may be a good idea to move the stop, to move that stop up above the entry point now, because it's already come up, it's retested the entry, and now it's surging a little bit higher. So we can move that protective stop above our entry. Now we're not taking any risks at all, and we can just sit back and watch this one. So it was an alert the other day, and now it is a buy. and we'll watch that one over time. NXT and OMG, they were both as alerts last time, which is a surprise to me. But nothing going on here yet. It really needs... I don't want to get into this. I want to make this turn around and come to me. I don't want to be jumping on this one too early. And even this might be too early. We'll see. And then OMG, sort of the same thing almost. Wow. Really similar charts. And so we got a lot of sell going on, a lot of on balance negative pressure here. I would leave this one until it's given me some better turnaround and breaking some of these old support and resistance levels from recently. So both of those lose their alert status for now. Omni and the Pascal coin. Omni actually is looking pretty good. So this buy signal there that I put into the alerts spreadsheet, and it wasn't updated on this spreadsheet yet. Omni's not a buy, it's an alert. And looking good. Pascal was a buy earlier. Let's see if it's still holding its place. Wonder when it was a buy. No, this was a get out if it went down below 6957. And it did go down below that. It may pick up and go higher. So let me mark it here with our new color. And we'll reevaluate that. One more look. Yeah, the fact that it broke this trend line was a good time to exit. And now I'd have to wait for it to do something above this line. And even that's pretty close because of the support and resistance in the past, and that it's been double topped here. I don't want to be whipsawing back and forth in this range. I want to wait till it's made its decision and it's actually going on a trend rather than more of this sideways work. And the longer this triangle goes and then it works its way to break above this, then we have an ascending wedge triangle, then we'd have a lot of confidence that it's going to be continuing on. So I'll step back from that one and watch it now that it's been so whipsawed. PPC. Okay, there's our entry. Even though it's inside this recent pump, it's pulled back. So we've got our 1, 2, 3 bottom. It's come back to retest the number 2 spot and hanging out there. So that one will hold as an alert. Then we have Quantum and Rep are next. Quantum. Nothing going on with Quantum. Rep. We had a buy signal and it's come down and hit our exit signal. So we got nailed on that one. Another example of trading inside this, instead of using the 12-hour bars, and the 12-hour bars got us in here and would have got us out here, and they wouldn't have gotten us back in on this level right here on this breakout. Even though it surged up really nicely, it would have filtered that out and left us wait until this is changing direction and not just doing a little zip. So by zooming in on a shorter term time frame, it's a whipsaw city. So we got nailed on that one and lost some money. Let me mark this as green here. And this should be a blue. This one. Hello from China, Giuseppe. Good to have you here. I think that you're the first person to say hello from China. Must be a good time of the day. It must be evening there. What time of the day is it in China? Rep. SBD and Siacoin. SBD I've learned more about. It took me a long time to learn about this coin, but it is a stable coin essentially. Locked as near to $1 as you can. And as Bitcoin started dropping here on the 14th, this coin started going. And we've got some big pre-pump candles. So as Bitcoin shows more weakness, this will show more strength. And would have it, according to our simple trading plan, let's go back to the 3-month view, it gave us the buy signal. So we have the break of the downtrend line, we have the bottom formation, we had the moving average crossover, and then it broke out on the 14th. That would have been a buy signal, and we would have been killed with this skewer down. That would have hit our stop loss. So difficult market, but it does look like it's going up from here, which is meaning Bitcoin is feeling like it's going to go down. Here it's 8:39 in the evening. Good to see you. Hey, good to see you as well, Giuseppe. That's a good time of the day for reaching people in China. The only Cantonese I know is 早安. I don't know if I said that right. It's supposed to be good morning. Rep we looked at. I marked this wrong. Let me change rep here and clear that one. Steam laid off 70% of its workers. Siacoin. So we've got a buy order or an alert on Siacoin should it break above the 82 Satoshi level. And I like Siacoin. I think it's a project that has that 81 Satoshi. It has that potential for a long-term revenue stream. Same as my feeling for storage. And there's Steam failing down to even more new lows. That's too bad because I had $700 worth of Steam in my Steam wallet, and now it's worth less than $100, I think. Where's my wallet? $112 now. So it's really been a bad thing to put money into that. It was, I don't know when it was. Probably in February of 2018. Down to new lows and really being hammered. Nothing there for our simple trading plan. Storage, however, gave us a buy signal and it's pulled back a little bit. So if we zoom into the 1 month view and we're looking at the 4-hour bars, here's our 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. There's the breakout, and here it comes back to settle on the number 2 point and retest it. So here again is another one of those examples where don't jump in on the FOMO, don't jump in on the breakout of the 1, 2, 3 bottom, but wait until it's come back and retested these levels. Then consider a position if it's moving up from there. And I'll review more of these with the Ichimoku clouds to see how this is forming against pushing into the cloud and then pulling back, and see what this all means. But in the meantime, this remains as a buy signal. So far, hasn't turned into a cold fish quite yet. STR. This is also XLM on. One thing that rose since February was BNB though, right? The only thing that rose since February, that and Factum. Factum is just crazy. And I had some Factum and I sold it too early. I saw the top formation coming and I sold out, and then off it went. And I didn't sell just part of it, I sold it all. So that was an error on my part, not following my own rules. And BNB is not actually covered in this study because we're just doing Poloniex. But let's go and take a look at BNB. BNB slash BTC. Wow. So hopefully Bitcoin does this. Hey, there's our big descending wedge triangle and failed back down, made a bottom formation, and with like blasted off there. And we got a descending wedge triangle here from within another descending wedge triangle, and off it went. So here's an example. If you were to trade this as a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation and look to be buying in on these levels, you wouldn't want to wait for it to come back and retest the number 2 point, because it just never did. It just never looked back. It just charged right along. You may be able to say that it broke through there and came back and retested it before charging off. Crazy. Glad you brought that up. I hadn't been watching it because I saw this massive descending wedge triangle similar to what Bitcoin just went through, and I wasn't expecting anything out of this at all. Once it started breaking below those levels, I thought, okay, there she goes. There's no use for it anyway, except that it's a Binance coin. Ta-da! So this one touched us in, touched us out, because we're zoomed in too close. This is the 12-hour bar, and it was actually an exit point from our earlier buys where the moving averages crossed. So hard to auto trade BNB since it's used for fees and double referral fees. You always want it in your account. Yeah, that double referral fee if you've got enough in your account. Now this isn't a happy chart now. I was expecting much more from this, mostly because of this massive triangle that's taken all year to build. And I was expecting that once it broke out of this and started making new highs here, that it was going to go up to 9,000 Satoshi. But it's pulled back. And zoom in on this and see what's going on. Bottom, failing bottom here. Not given any kind of signal that we can jump back in on yet. It's got to show some strength out of this range. Again, this is a pretty good target area, but probably should be up just a bit. Just pick it up off there and wait for this to bounce around and consolidate and change directions again. So here's where we can see where we got kicked out and put it back into an alert on the 30th. Okay, put it back into an alert on the 30th where we got kicked out there, but didn't get back in the second time. Strat. I saw the green line going straight up and I thought, wow. I knew it had gone through and given us a buy signal. And now would be prudent to move the stop loss up to protect, because we just don't know what's coming. And we'll see how this goes over time now. But it was a buy signal the day before yesterday, I think. Syscoin was a buy at 1047. And it's still holding above that. I'd move the stop loss up now to protect a little bit. So it holds the green. Viacoin VTC. Viacoin looks like it's going to be doing something. I want to stay just above those wicks and see what we can do with it. So I'll put that as an alert, and it wasn't earlier. Actually, it whipsawed us, got us in, and then that we kicked ourselves out because it was too, it pulled back. Alert. VTC, I think it was also a similar chart. Okay, we've got the alert in here, and we've got the potential stop loss, but it hasn't hit on either side. So it didn't get entered into that market, though we do have the hypothetical orders at that level. X counterparty. Counterparty give us the buy, and it's come, I think it was 1, 2, 3, broke out, come back to retest the number 2 point, and the stop loss has moved up. So we're still in that one and waiting. Now XEM and XRP are add-ons. XEM is doing great. So we bought in here, then we added on early, and prices are going up. So this would be okay to move the stop loss up on this one now. Just below the last wave of support and resistance. So it protects in both the initial money and the add-on money now would both be protected. Based on the daily thingamajig says XEM is going to retrace back to the 1750 level. Let's go to the 1-day chart. Yeah, it could retrace back to the 1750 level. And if that were the case and you figured it was going to go higher than that afterwards, you'd move your stop loss down below the 1750 level. Let it have room to do that. But it's got a very nice bull shape. Very nice slow progression. I like the on balance volume of trades coming in here. It's not dipping. If we go into the 3-month view, it's strong, almost just as strong here. Not quite as strong now on this third poke up, so it could be going to retrace a bit. Good call there. We'll see how that turns out over the future. XMR. Fail. So it didn't come up and hit our buy order since I put that on in early December. But it's actually come down to new lows. So that would not even be, I'm going to mark this as a fail. XPM. Looking good. Actually, this is one that was down, 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 down. It was like a fail, fail, fail. Steady as could be. Just as steady and straight as could be here. If we do a parallel channel on this. That is pretty amazing how straight that is until we get down to this bottom. So we are seeing a divergence in the RSI. We are seeing a change in the on-balance volume from negative, negative, negative to a little bit of positive here. So a break above that green line into the box there would be a buy signal, but nothing yet. Then XRP. This was one of the system's better trades. We had the buy signal here. We had the add-on signal here. And now, who knows what it's going to be doing. I don't know if it's going to drop down from here or continue onwards, but I would move the hypothetical stop just below this surge and let it have that room, because it's all profit money from here should you have taken the entry and the add-on signal at those times. Then we have Zcash and ZRX. So Zcash, another one that touched us in and kicked us out. And marked as such, I do believe, on the 29th. Yeah, so we took that and we just got out on the 29th. It came back and it did not prove us correct. So we just got out of that. So it's still marked as a fail, right? Now it could be neutral now. It's in between the fail and the price order. ZRX. Nothing going on here until it moves above these levels. And we'll just wait and see on this one. Although this is the 12-hour bar, so that's probably would be good because it will give us enough time for this to turn around, and the moving average is probably crossing over at that time. And we have, you know, almost a double bottom here, a little bit higher lows. And so that wraps it up. We see that even though we are in a very much of a bull market, not all is bleak. When we look at Bitcoin, it's not looking good. It looks like it's going to be failing off, but many of the cryptos are giving signals that we could be acting on. So it may be that the bear market is still not far away from where we are now. And remember, it was December the 15th or 14th of last year where things started to take off. And we had a big slump from the end of November until that 15th of December. And things really took off. So you've always got to be vigilant, always be watching. And you can click on IntroToCryptos.ca/alerts, and I'll email you these details every day instead of you having to sit here and watch it for an hour. So I've had quite a few requests of people sending me an email saying that, could you just send me the results of this spreadsheet? Could you just send that to me? They don't want to take the time to go through all this, and I enjoy taking the time to go through all this stuff. I enjoy it, and it's important because I made such a killing last time when the cryptos made their bull runs that I want to be prepared. So by doing these presentations, I help other people around the world who I would never get a chance to meet. And I also increase my own preparedness, practice my own trading method in my head. And then when it's time to act, it's much more reflexive. It might have covered, is there a reason the area chart is no longer in the background? Probably just because I didn't put it back up. I have it here, but just forgot to have it in. I think when I was taking the screenshots for the master trading thing, I wasn't keeping that in the background, so I was focused just on the currency itself. I don't see where I have that spreadsheet handy. So here's the mega spreadsheet where we have alerts for what's going on in Binance, and then the link to the thing. I do have Bitcoin in the background. So just because I forgot to put it in here, is where it's not in the background, I cleaned it up. So AGI, where is GNT before the move? So here's what I was doing, and I cleaned up all that stuff in the background so the chart's less cluttered. And what I'm going to do with these charts now is I'm going to be adding in the numbers. So if I go back to GNT, I think it's on Binance. Clear that. BTC. Let's go down to GNT. Three-month view. Zoom back. Oh, something's screwing up. So what I'll do is I'll draw in the entry box, our profit targets, our stop loss levels, and then I'll be filling out the details to have these numbers right on the chart. And so the less clutter in the background, the better, because I'm going to want to have entry, profit, stop, and then risk to reward ratio. And then have that data on there so that I'll say 2608 just as a quick example. Our profit would be at just below historical support and resistance, so 43.27. And the stop would be below these levels here, so 2011. And then from the spreadsheet, I would write in the percentages so we know what kind of percentage. Let's say it's a 18% percentage loss if it came back against you that much. And we're going for, I don't know, I'm just guessing here, 51% profit. Then the risk to reward ratio would be, I don't know, 2.5 to 1, just throwing numbers out of the air. And I'll have those from the spreadsheet itself so that when I put them in here, you'll be able to quickly see on the screenshots after opening up the alerts package. You would be able to open up the screenshot and immediately see all the data, instead of this where you see the entry price and the exit price, and these are written numerically in the email alerts so that you can see the entry, the exit, the stop loss, the risk to reward ratio. But I'm going to get that all on the charts here and keep it as clean as possible. So I'm surprised that there are this many people first thing in the morning, but I think I'll be doing the stream at this time of the day more often, and then go to the yoga in the evenings just because it helps me sleep better. It's great fun to do. So at any rate, that runs us through. If you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them, go over any markets that you want me to take a look at before we close her down for today. A pretty good hour invested here, thereabouts. Hour and 21 minutes so far. And if you haven't already, push firmly on the thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, click on the subscribe button and hit that bell icon right beside it so that you get these notifications when I do go live. We've got a couple people over on Twitch. Very happy to see you here. And if you haven't already, say hello. Let me know where in the world you are from. I know I've been slowly building a bit of an audience over there on Twitch, but I haven't been spending much time at it. All right, and that wraps it up for today. Thanks again for tuning in. All the best in your cryptocurrency trading. Where'd my stream thing go? There we go. End stream. Cheers, guys. Are you more? Oh, Bill just got me before I hit the end. Definitely more of a long-term trader. Bill, or Will, definitely. When we went through the bull market from last time, let me go to a market I know of, Digibyte. I did very well by holding longer and having smaller positions that I held for a longer period of time than for short-term trades. But I've tried to do short-term trades and I start zooming in on the 15-minute bars and stuff like that. I get killed more often than not. So what I've learned, and I practiced 3 different trading accounts on Poloniex through 2016, 17, 2015, 16, 17. I had 3 different trading accounts. Each account had its own personality and traded a different way. And the account that did the very best used the simple trading plan. It used the 12-hour bars, waited for the break of the downtrend line, the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, and the exponential moving average crossover before I took a trade on that. And then it used those criteria for exiting on the trades as well. So if we go through Pascal and click it so I can pull the chart back. Let's go into BitShares. This is one I did well on. You can see that through this uptrend here, there was a lot of pullbacks, really big, deep pullbacks. It came up and pulled back, came up and really pulled back. And I didn't get out on any of these because my moving averages hadn't crossed over. I said, I'm just going to stay in this one account until that crosses over. In the other accounts, I would get out and try to get back in, and I would try to take profits and then try to get back in. And I ended up taking small losses or cutting way down what I would have made in profits. And then I waited in this account until those moving averages started crossing over. And it was pretty much in June and July of 2017, where I was selling like crazy. I was just cleaning out all my accounts because those moving averages were crossing over. And then again in January and February of 2018, right in here after these top formations, I was going, exit time, time to sell. I sold hundreds of thousands of dollars of coin, which is a good thing too, because it really came down to be worth nothing almost since then. 80%, 90% losses in many of these markets. So, yes, long-term market. And if you hadn't used, waiting for the moving average to cross. You remember my video from XEM, and it's just following this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation that I learned in 1997 initially. And I've been studying the markets ever since then to see this happen and to see how long it takes. Once a signal is made, it takes months for these things to play out. Sometimes a year and a half or longer. So definitely better to have a small position that you sit on for a long time. And if you haven't already, I recommend that you go and buy the book Reminiscences of a Stock Operator. Okay, we do have some Twitch guys commenting there, and I appreciate that. You come up on the main screen there. I appreciate having you guys here. Fantastic. And thank you very much. Do I have a recommendation for a scalping strategy? You'd have to find a scalping instructor. And if you don't have a lot of time to trade, then this system works, my system works better for that, because it takes about 10 minutes a day to look through the charts and go, yep, nothing to do, yep, nothing to do, yep, nothing to do. There's nothing to do except to watch it. And then all of a sudden there's one day where you go, like, over a 3 or 4 day period, like all the markets all have signals all coming in at nearly the same time. And so then you're really busy then, and after you're into a position, then there's very little to do again. So if you're experimenting on the 5 and 15 minute bars, I recommend that you step away from them. You will get, I get chewed up when I'm trading the 5 minute bars and the 15 minute bars trying to scalp. I'm whipsawed. I'm in and out. I'm chasing the market. I see it's going down, so I put a sell order on, and then I see it didn't prove me right, so I get out, and it looks like it's going up, so I buy, and then it doesn't. It's definitely better to take a smaller position, wait for the tide to be coming in, rather than trying to jump on the waves. Then put on your position, a nice small position. Let it take its time. Don't rush this. Once you've decided to put your money into this trading, imagine that you'll never see this money again. Even if it's profitable, you're going to leave that money in there to work for you and forever. It's the goose that lays the golden eggs. You'll never take that money out. You can take out some of the profits when they come, but you'll never take out your work money. Once you put it into the investments, keep the mindset that this money is now to work for you for the rest of your life. You're going to make that slave work and work and work and work and work. And so you're not looking for the quick gains like you're going to the casino and pulling the one-arm bandit, and getting your returns. It's not like a lottery ticket where you buy it and all of a sudden you cash out. This is money that's put to work for you, and it stays there working for you. And then over a long period of time, it builds up to some fantastic amounts. So if you don't have much time to trade, do the 12-hour bars or the 1-day bars. If you have a lot of time and you can sit at the computer, then the 5 and 15 minute bars may give you something. But other than that, I watch these all the time, and I never do well when I'm on that short-term strategy. So you'd have to find somebody who is doing it well. They've got a set of indicators that helps them in that way. But for my own part, it's not the kind of style of trading that I like to do. It stresses me out as well. All right, I will wrap it up for now. Time to go and cook second breakfast. Cheers, guys. Good luck in all of your trading. Great to have you here. Yes, indeed. I'll be doing these live streams probably this time of the day, most of the time now. Cheers again.